Hello everybody, how's it going? We are going to start something new. We're going to take a look at Star Trek Resurgence. A couple things I know about this game, or at least I think I know about this game, is this game is made by a new studio of ex-devs from Telltale. So this is a Telltale-inspired game if you've ever played any of those. So this game is very dialogue heavy. In general, people seem to be enjoying this game. I do know that the controls can be a little sketchy. I guess we'll have to just figure that out once we get into it. I will also mention that I'm a big Star Trek fan, and so I've been looking forward to checking this game out. I don't know if the game is also going to tell us this or not, but I do know that this game takes place after the last TNG movie. So basically Voyager got home, the last TNG movie came out, and I think that's where this game starts. So it doesn't have any of the weird new stuff. This is like classic Star Trek. There are decisions that can be made. I think there's multiple endings. It's kind of one of those games. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what it's all about. I might have to adjust volumes as we get into it. Here we go. I do know that there are some Star Trek voice actors in this too. Or actors, I should say. Shuttlecraft.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down.
Okay. I'm going to very quickly increase the volume. Oops, not that slider. Let's try that. Let's try this. VO is a little bit lower than what I want. Okay.
They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them.
One final interrupt, and then I think we'll have it. Let's do a little bit more. Turn that down a little bit. Turn that down a little. Oop, not that one. Oh, wait. That needs to be all the way up. Okay.
Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good.
Are we good, chat, or did these come up more?
Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Oh, God.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
The crew is impacted by the things you say.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
I'm not sure what
Won't be
species
easy
he
for
is.
Chara to step in at the 11th hour like this.
There's a Miranda class.
She's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy.
The other ship there, I think, was an Excelsior class. Oh, there's a Nova. I love the Nova class. That's a cool ship. That's a steam runner up there, I think. There was a Nova over there on the right side a second ago. The only thing I don't know is what species she is. It's one of the species that they don't show very often. Okay, I'm gonna make just a couple more quick adjustments here, chat. We're looking at, there's all kinds of things here. Exploration, shooting, stealth, tricorder, phaser, shuttle. Are these like skill things? Oh, it's tutorial things. We have, like, crew slots here. Bajoran. No, I don't think so. Generally, Bajorans will have the earpiece. Although, technically, the earpiece is against Starfleet regulations. It's against the dress code. But... anyway, I'm going to just crank this up a couple more notches, and I'm going to turn these down just a little bit more, and I think we'll be set on volume then. Oh, I was going to look, one more quick thing. It looks like the decisions we have to make have a timer. I would rather not have that timer. Can I disable that? Looks like the answer to that is no. Wonder if this is going to be better on a, controller. Okay, we'll just have to go with it. Okay. If you guys want subtitles on, let me know.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5.
Really?
Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy. So... there's that.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
By the way, chat, we will be role-play. I think you do play multiple characters. But at the moment, I'm going to say I will be role-playing as a standard, like, nice Starfleet person. Right? I'm not going to be like the, you know, mean person or whatever. We'll see. We'll see.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds.
What if I got more fingers than that? How do you do that?
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Wonder what class of starship the Resolute is. Can I mess with any of these? Nope. Okay. That looks like a Miranda. Oh, is the Resolute a Miranda class?
Good day, Commander.
What? Who? What? Yes, sir. I didn't see your rank. Standard starbase configuration.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
I was just about ready to say blue skin.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Oh, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me.
I'm a future red shirt? No, I'm a commander. I'm good.
Thanks so much, Commander.
I have a name. We're good. Also, how did you get through the academy if you don't know how to do a readout? That guy's gonna be on the night shift if I'm in charge of crew personnel.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
Oh yeah, that other guy, yeah.
Excuse me, have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
What you guys eating over here? Is the replicator doing good stuff?
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
We're gonna have some pancakes. I have
Excuse
no
me.
I have no idea what species that is, Red. No clue.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was perfectly fine. No trouble at all.
I'm glad to hear it.
Sorry, one more adjustment. I'm watching my audio mixer. The VO is all over the place. So I'm gonna do this. Maximum volume. I can't make the VO any louder than this. So
We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
spare me the flattery, Blue Man. I mean,
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently,
Dominion
Tactical
War.
Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework.
Like I said, we're very lucky. The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
It's been 6 months. What's the attitude among the crew now?
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward. If not, move on. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time, and I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you're walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
You guys called me a nerd, and Mikey was like, it's a Centaur class. We can be Star Trek nerds together.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Find the plasma torch. Okay. This is some real Star Trek nerd stuff. If you actually know which one is the plasma torch. Wait, how's this work? Okay. I'm gonna have to increase the mouse sensitivity, I think. Wait, what's going on here? Oh, wait, hold on. What? Oh, do I gotta stay inside the circle here? Okay. It's busted.
And that... is that.
The Lower Decks. You know what? I actually haven't seen that show. I've heard it's supposed to be pretty good.
I thought that thing was totally fried.
Ah, Trill.
Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
When I played Star Trek Online, I made my character a Trill, and I had this big backstory. Hello there. Just inspecting the cargo bay here. Wait a minute.
good to see her fully operational again. And if she breaks, we'll just fix her.
Not unless it's completely
Come on.
destroyed. Sorry, I'm looking at stuff.
Engineer.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
What's the matter, Nilly? Afraid of a little hard work?
A little hard work? Really? A little? 6 months of putting this ship back together is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and here we are. Just about ready to go.
I might RP this guy as being a little sassy.
Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Vulcan.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edzelar on repeated occasions.
So you're saying we're irreplaceable, Commander?
That is one interpretation. Another would be that I would replace you if I could. You can interpret as you see fit.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
How concerned should we be about the storm? Are you worried?
Vulcans do not worry. We calculate the variables and take appropriate precautions to mitigate the risk. Right now, that entails making critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander
Roger that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
You gotta have some faith, Nilly. Starfleet Command wouldn't send us out if we weren't ready.
6 months ago, I probably would have said the same thing. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa. Excuse me.
Dang it, rookie.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Don't talk badly about one of the best ships in all of Starfleet.
We've rebuilt enough of her by now. She better be one of the best.
We'll see about that. But I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
This is not gonna be a fun spacewalk. My character
Here,
gets
let
sick.
me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa!
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Do you remember your zero-G combat training? No, I don't, and that's the problem. Now see, that's a Miranda class over there that we just saw.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
That's a steam runner right there, flying by. Yeah, I was gonna say the nacelles on the Centaur are like a little bit, like, wider out.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
So that I didn't know. So her ring is like... It brought up that screen and she could like check her vitals or whatever. Well.
We'll be out there soon. Going where no one has gone before.
25th century glucose meter.
The first mineral Captain Solano ever discovered. Always was the nostalgic type. Can't wait to plot a course myself.
I've thought about going back to STO and checking out the all the changes, 'cause I haven't touched that game in years.
Just a sip of something. Decisions.
Coffee,
decisions.
black.
Coffee.
That's not the noise that makes. Negative 10 points.
Perfect temperature. Don't know how they do it.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the Academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I heard that you had an equipment malfunction.
Is that what they're calling it? No, that's just someone being generous. If anything, it was a leadership malfunction. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there, within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hatari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details at the rendezvous.
So basically, we're being sent into the eye of a storm, more powerful than anything on record.
Well, yes. But we're taking every precaution. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you.
Couple quick things. Well, the Akira class was also designed as an anti-Borg ship, if I remember correctly. So the Akira has some style and some power to it, kind of like the Defiant does. Couple other quick things I wanted to mention here, just based on the story. So they were experimenting with something with the warp drive, and that went wrong, nearly destroyed the ship. We know that the Warp 10 experiment has been tried at least once, and that ended in failure. We also know that there are some areas of the Alpha Quadrant where subspace is damaged, or other areas that are... Okay, let me back up. There's areas of the Alpha Quadrant that a subspace is destroyed and other areas that were damaged. Because of that, there was a... I don't know if you want to call it a treaty or whatever you want to call it, but basically, in those areas, you're not supposed to exceed a certain warp speed because they don't want to further damage subspace unless it's an emergency. So I don't know if it was something going on with that or whatever. That's getting like deeper into the Star Trek lore.
But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Because I remember there's an episode of Voyager where, and I think it's probably where they were, the episode of Voyager where they were doing the Warp 10 experiments. And Tom Paris was talking about an area or areas in the Alpha Quadrant where you can't do warp at all because subspace is like destroyed. But then, yeah, other than that, it's like getting damaged everywhere. Yeah. Yep. It's a nice bridge layout.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks
That's
in
a Bajoran.
humility, he more than makes up for in
That guy.
ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time, and I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
You've heard of me?
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people
Stalker.
who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
I don't know what to say. That's incredibly flattering, thank you.
I hope someday I can follow in your footsteps.
I'm sure you will.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
All right, take us out. Sit in the captain's chair when you're ready. You guys cleaned these panels here recently? They look kind of dirty.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do.
Tactical hollow. What?
Tactical hollow dais. Just like they've got on the Excelsior.
Okay. Computer, bring up the manual steering column. We will never speak of that again.
Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Hey, Pandrakos, you're close. It's a Centaur class, which is in the same, like, family, essentially.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Pass. What else we got? Anything else going on?
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Thump, 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 thump.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine.
So just to pause here for a second, just based on what Line Walker said in chat. So yeah, this game, for those who missed the intro as well, this game is very much like a Telltale series game, and this is how you play those games. They're very, very story heavy, a ton of dialogue, and so basically it's like, here's the decisions you got to make, and then here's some QTEs, and that's basically all you're doing. I don't know if this game is going to change up that formula or not, but so far that's all we've seen, and again, it's very Telltale-esque. But yeah, very, very common. Whoops.
A massive, massive machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Beginning recalibration.
I missed this in my Starfleet training. Tune node.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
Okay. Oh, am I doing this? Okay, hold on. I think I gotta get the circle thing inside the other circle thing. Hold on. No! Stop. Stop. Oh, we got it. Okay, cool.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Somebody press that button.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out.
I have a feeling like
Better than just
he's
about
mad because he wanted to be first officer.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
Hey, we just met. You might like me after you get to know me.
They say familiarity breeds contempt. But who knows? Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
Red alert, shields up.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the ship.
Red alert!
Aye.
The two people that are on the ship, beam them inside the ship.
Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Petrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
What? What am I doing? Okay.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
And you blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Be interesting to see what would happen if we would have taken option 2 there.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Yep.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Okay. Now we're doing cards. All right. Or isolinear chips. Sorry. That's probably what these are.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Good call.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
We're actually upside down right now, I think, aren't we? Switch phasers to maximum. There was an old game back in the day called like Star Trek like Elite Force or something like that. We need another Star Trek first-person shooter. It's been a long time. Got him?
We're almost to the regulator.
Yep.
Are you alright?
Yeah. So it took most of it. Just snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%.
I don't want to get killed by an energy thing, so if it happens again, just shoot me.
We're at the regulator point. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Move, grab, and adjust. Okay. Let's start with white. Whoop, hold on.
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovak can...
We got a problem.
The docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
The docking clamp isn't functioning. We're exploring our options.
The option is to detonate the emergency release.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order.
Yep.
Chara?
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you
Chara,
disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
All right, Captain.
We're going to blow the bolts. Starbase, stand by. We'll warn our crew to take cover.
Get it done, Rydek.
Following orders here. If somebody dies,
Repair crew. This is
it's not
Acting
my fault.
Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, you have more micro debris incoming. Find cover.
Cover? Neely, get under the access panel. It's armored with duranium.
But what about you?
Carter, maybe we can both fit behind this.
Maybe they're too low on power or something. Maybe the storm is interfering with the transporter. That's why they had to go out manually.
They've blown the other docking clamp. Hurry!
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Come on. Somebody needs to oil these levers. Oh.
I got you. Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edsolar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Go in there now. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there!
You better be right behind me.
Uh-oh.
We're in.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Carter!
I'm okay. I'm okay. But Edsolar...
Here, let me help you. Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Nelly.
Oh, man.
You took a nasty fall.
We'll see you at sickbay.
I wonder if she has a symbiote.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
The Resolute suffered damage from the exploding bolts. But we've successfully moored to the station. The ship is secure. Our systems are coming back online, but we have a fair amount of repairs before we're ready to go.
Put a halt on the roll-off of Starbase engineering staff. We have a schedule to keep. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me. What a debacle. I was caught with my pants down. Not even on my own ship when the wave hit. I had to go running out of the Starbase commander's office just to... But you followed my order. I appreciate that. Hell, I'm relieved.
You're the captain of this ship. You give orders, and I'll execute them.
That's right. But you see my problem, don't you? They were all against me on that bridge. And they were ready to go against my orders. I'm not blind to it.
I think you're wrong about that. You still have the respect of the crew, and we have bigger things to deal with. We have a high-priority mission ahead of us and a lot to do to get ready.
We're going to have a pretty big problem if I can't count on the bridge staff. To say nothing of the rank and file.
Nope, we're bringing out the booze.
Oh. Drink?
No. Thank you.
Crew, the captain's drunk again.
Your predecessor, Commander Sutherland, is missed. But for all the adoration of the crew, including the senior staff, I just couldn't rely on him. He would question, undermine me in front of the crew. I sometimes think they still hear his voice. That sort of thing has a way of lingering. And you can't argue with a ghost.
Captain, perhaps you and the crew would be better served if you look at this mission as a fresh start.
You can never really leave the past behind.
If we don't, you can never move forward.
Now, this won't be easy, but I'm glad I have you here with me.
Glad to be here, Captain.
And despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Ready or not, here we go.
All I ask is a tall ship. Nice. That's part of a Kirk quote.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge. Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar. That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
Warp 8?
You know what? You take this one.
Me? Engage.
Simple, but effective.
It's called Classic, Captain.
Easy.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside!
What is this, a Pip Boy?
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her, but she'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your duridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet, and managed to thrive.
Hey, targeted user, how's it going? We're about an hour and a half in.
I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I don't like the attention it brings. Being treated differently than everyone else.
But you are different. That's not something you can change.
True.
Another loyal
But sometimes it
devotee.
makes it even more difficult than it already is.
And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. I have to admit, I was concerned when I heard what happened on the bridge. You just followed Solano's orders despite having better options in front of you.
Uh-oh.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship, and everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
All right, we have a tactical officer in our pocket now, chat. Oops. What are you gonna do with that shuttlecraft?
Complete the diagnostic sequence, and this shuttle will be cleared for service.
Yes, sir.
The storm in the Hotari region will interfere with our transporters, so we need all available shuttlecraft in working order.
Excuse me, Commander Chovak.
Petty Officer Maris. I will leave you to your work.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Nili. I figured you'd want to know.
Did the doc get her fixed up?
She's stable. But there's something about the storm's radiation that's making it hard to heal the energy burns.
That doesn't sound good.
She's toughing it out. Dr. Duval said she'll be back on duty soon, though.
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
There's a lot of noise in that cargo bay.
I can't stay long. I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on faster than I can check them off. We're making all our last-minute checks in security, too. Tactical and security are short-staffed.
Well, nothing's ever 100%, but we'll be good to go.
And if you wait until you are ready, it's probably too late. Which is why I didn't want to wait for just the right time. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Nili almost got killed out on the hull. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
Now, this is just a guess, but you like me. Is that what this is?
How'd you know? Must have been pretty obvious. Which is funny because kinda came out of nowhere for me at first.
Well, I'm just a really good guesser. Any of my teachers growing up would have told you that.
So, you figured it out. And I'll just cut to the chase. We've been really good friends for a long time. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
You don't have to explain it. I feel the same way. There is something between us.
So, do you want to find out what that something is? If it's there for you, and it's there for me, why not give it a try?
We don't have to put too much pressure on it. Let's just see where this goes.
I like that. Definitely felt some pressure coming down to see you.
These are uncharted territories.
I'd call it a chemistry experiment. You know, with us.
I'm just really glad that you said something.
I've seen how you operate. I couldn't wait for you to make the first move. I'm glad too.
So whatever happens next is great with me.
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
I have to get back to that to-do list. They're probably looking for me.
Can't blame them.
JT's like, which one dies? What?
I'll be seeing you.
Nobody's gonna die. Okay, let's go ahead and stop right there. I think we just hit a save point. And so we should be able to continue right from there tomorrow, everybody. Yeah, so far I'm really enjoying this. Like I said, I feel like it's been forever since we've had a good Star Trek game. They just don't make these games anymore. So this has been a lot of fun. So yeah, we will continue this. I'm just looking at settings. We'll continue this tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central. And then, yeah, Wednesday we got the game show, and then we'll continue this again on Thursday and Friday. I don't know if we can beat it in 4 streams. We'll have to see. But yeah, otherwise we'll just stream it during this time slot until we do beat it. So, pretty cool. Honestly, this has me, like, so in the Star Trek mood. I'm half tempted to stream another Star Trek game after we get done with this one. But, and I know which one it's going to be, too, but I'm not going to tell you guys. It'll be a secret. So, yeah. Pretty cool. If I go back to the main menu here, we should be good, right? I think so. Just verifying. We'll have to check out this choices thing maybe when we're done. See how many, like, different branches there are and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how many endings this game has. But yeah, we'll see. But for those who are watching on YouTube, we'll go ahead and wrap up the VOD right there. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.